this thing's huge. It's going to be a good birthday. When I first got this gigantic box in my hand, I was so excited. I mean, it was so big that it barely fit through the doorway to my place. Once I started opening it, though, it's kind of disappointing. I mean, the figure inside is big, don't get me wrong. You can see how big it is when I hold it in my hand. But it is maybe only half of the size of that box. Like, that box could have probably held something a lot bigger. So yeah, uh, it is not as big as the box would have indicated. So disappointment is a awful thing on one's birthday. Hello and Merry Christmas, everybody, and happy birthday to me. Yes, my birthday technically yesterday, day before Christmas. But I got called out by some friends. They wanted to take me out for birthday, so this episode didn't air until Christmas Day. So today we are looking at the Christmas gift or birthday gift I got for myself this year, the mighty Tiamat uh, from Super 7 Ultimates. Uh, you guys saw how big the box was, the intro video. It's a very impressive box, and she is a pretty impressive dragon. Before we go into why I got her, how I got her, there's a little bit of a fun story on that. Let's give a quick um, introduction on who Tiamat is. In the Dragonlance series of novels, uh, she is known as the Queen of Darkness, or Takusis, I think it's pronounced that way. It's been a long time since I read Dragonlance. And in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, she is the queen of all evil dragons. So she is basically a goddess. Her essence resides in the plane or realm called the Nine Hells, and she interacts with other worlds through avatars and by proxy. So her real form is so vast that no one can really comprehend it. Of what we usually see in the game or during the cartoon, those are more like her avatar or her miniaturized form, and even those were gigantic. Like usually, she's like shown as bigger than even regular dragons, and she has 5 heads. Huh. Um, the 5 heads from uh, left, well, my left, your right, from uh, left to right is we have the white head. This one breathes ice, and then we have the green head. This one breathes poison, and then the main head, which is red, this breathes fire, and then we have the blue head. This one breathes ice. No, no, sorry, lightning. White was ice, blue is lightning. And then we have this one over here, the last head, that's a black head that breathes acid. So she's basically, she's got all 5 elements: fire, water, wind, heart, wood. Yeah, no, 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 no. Captain Planet. Anyway, um, pretty cool. And all 5 heads look different as well, which is kind of impressive that they went to the trouble of making them actually look different. Um, the the one that's over to the far left or my far left, this white one, the fin on top of the head, it kind of go backward, and then the teeth are longer in the front. I'll bring her in closer. Yeah, the fangs are longer in the front. And then the next, ooh, knocking things over. The next one, this green head, bring her back a little. The teeth are all evenly uh, distributed, even lengths, and the fin on the head go forward instead of backward. And then we have the big red head. That's her main head, got horns on top of the brow, and big, long, jagged fangs, really scary, almost like a pig nose or wild boar kind of nose. She has manes on the back of the neck, and then kind of tufts of fur on the side of her cheek. And then this blue head, we got the rather than the fin, it has a fin on the side of the head like ears, and then little jagged horns on top of the nose, the bridge of the nose, and the top of the head. And then the black head is the only one that the mouth is closed, and it has two long horns that come out the front. So all five heads are different. She also have a very stout, muscular uh, body, with chunky arms and legs. She reminds me of a piggy bank, actually. They all they had to do is put a slot in her back and put a plug underneath, and she would have made a nice piggy bank. She got two giant wings, and these wings are basically what make up of most of her size. And the tail. Now this tail is deceiving um, and frustrating. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to just let her stand there, and I want to talk a little bit about how I came to get this as my birthday gift. You see, when Super 7 announced the Tiamat, I was very excited, right? Like five-headed dragon queen of darkness. You don't see something like this very often, and she is like very important in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. She's basically one of the big bads. So yeah, I was very excited until I saw she's going to be vinyl, okay, and then she's going to be $300, $300 US for a vinyl toy. You got to be kidding me, okay? Even though her specs look really good, 15 inches high, 20 inches wide, 20 inches long, but still, like $300 for a frigging vinyl toy. I knew right off the bat that I wasn't going to get her no matter what for full price. And then after she finally was released, I started seeing reviews and I saw reviews, and then one of my good friends uh, over at Online Action Figure Entertainment website, Yogurt, he reviewed her, and we had a little conversation about that. And I said, "Wow, definitely looks like a nice figure on your review." But because one of the points he made was, "This is not a $300 toy. Maybe 150 would be really good." And I told him, um, I would never buy this for 300 because something this big, I knew from the heart of heart, this would go on sale very soon, a very deep sale. Because let's face it, right? Not too many people is going to buy this at full price, and stores don't want to hold big, giant boxes like this for a long time because they take up a lot of room. True to my prediction, only 2 weeks after I said that she would go on deep discount, she did on Entertainment Earth. For the Black Friday sale, she went on 40% off. So she went from $300 US down to 193, I believe. So that became very tempting, right? I asked myself, shoot, would I spend 193 for a big vinyl five-headed dragon? And in the end, my answer was normally, no, because honestly, guys, I have a feeling that she's going to go even deeper, right? If you guys wait patiently, By next year, this time, I it wouldn't surprise me if Big Bad Toy Store put her on like 60% off or 70% off, right? Once the initial uh, bunch of people that wanted her in the first place gone through, bought her, there's going to be the ones that left over and Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment are going to really want out of their inventory. This is going to go really deep, deep discount. So that's my prediction for you right now. Like this time next year, you'll be able to get this one really, really cheap. Okay. Now some people say, yeah, but there's only like 3,000 made or 1,000 made. Like it's limited. That doesn't matter. Like just not too many people is going to buy her at that price. They have to bring the price down. Okay. So that was my thought. Like ordinarily, I would play the patient game and wait for next year. But then I thought, what the heck? My birthday is coming up. I'm going to be spending winter all alone here in Canada this year because various personal issues, personal reasons, not issues, personal reasons. Kitten and I won't be spending the winter together until February. So I need something as a pick me upper. And what better than a pick me upper than a big giant action figure of a five-headed dragon. So I bit the bullet and added her to my shopping cart. Now, if I did get her for 193, I would have been very happy. However, just as I was going to check out, I learned that because of the size of this figure, she wasn't eligible for Entertainment Earth's free shipping. So I ended up having to pay $40 to ship to get this shipped. I think it was 40, it might have been 60. Like it was something crazy, right? I almost canceled her from my card, but like I I I knew it's still overpriced at 193, but it was palatable. But now all of a sudden I'm paying close to 250 for this vinyl toy. But the common sense didn't win this time. Uh, the child part of me was already screaming, "You said you were going to buy me a Tiamat." So the adult me said, "Fine, fine. What's $40, $50? We'll get it." So yeah, in the end, I paid close to 250 for this rather than just 193. It's still cheaper than the full price, but not as good a deal as I thought it was going to be. Now, before we talk more about Tiamat, let's look at some close-up shots and posing photos and such. It's not going to be anything too interesting because there's really not much you can do with this. It essentially is a vinyl statue. There's not much you can do with her. But we'll talk more about that when we come back. Like most dragon style action figures, this dragon is kind of deceptive. It's kind of misleading, um, especially in size and articulation. Size, because yes, it is on paper it looks really big, 20 inch across, 20 inch long, 15 inches tall, but most of that is really the tail and the wings. Well, most of it is the wings. If you take away the wings and the tail, just look at the dragon's body itself. It's not very big. It's chunky. It's like very wide, but it's not very high off the ground. And articulation wise, it is a vinyl toy. So it has 20 cut joints. Most of them don't do anything. If you move the head or the tail, it throws off the alignment and doesn't look good. So most of these joints is no good anyway. Now let's talk about articulation because I feel that Super 7 in this case uh, failed the collectors in two ways. One is articulation, and the other one is size. Okay, I usually usually I have a lot of issues with animated style figures such as Tiamat here. If we look at how smooth, like she has good uh like shadow on her body that painted on, but the sculpt is totally smooth. Like this don't this doesn't feel like dragon. This doesn't feel like, well, like I said, a piggy bank, right? It's really smooth. Usually, this would be one of the things that bug me the most, but in this case, I can overlook it because she's from the cartoon. I knew that going into this is the aesthetic that we're going for. That's fine. But articulation and size, that's not really excusable, right? Okay, articulation. First, you look at her head. You can turn at the top of the neck and the bottom of the neck, but the moment you turn this, then the line on the throat don't line up, the color don't line up. I mean, the color doesn't bother me as much, but still, like something like this is bothersome because you you want to use the articulation point and then it doesn't look right. The mane and the back of the neck won't line up. Uh, I mean, the wings they can go forward and back, um, but they can't open or close or anything like that. The legs, well, there's not much you can do with the legs, right? It would be nice if they gave her ball joints for her head. So if you pose her like how she's usually posed, uh, rearing up like this, right? If she can still look forward or look down, that would be good. Okay, if they only did that, give her ball jointed neck or head, that would that would make me very happy. Or even ball jointed tail, maybe. Okay, because this tail, again, it's another kind of a sore point. It's forever kind of stuck in this up position, right? She looks a lot more impressive if you can extend her tail. And I mean, in some ways, you kind of can, like this, but then nothing's lined up. All the scales are out of whack. All the lines are out of whack. So you you almost never want to pose her like that. Like kind of like want to just pose her in the default format because otherwise nothing's lining up. Now, some people say, well, that's a vinyl toy. They can't have ball joints. Well, this is why I have Sagat here by Soda Toy. This is my Sagat from, I think, 2002, 2001, vinyl rotocast toy made by Soda. Okay, this is, I think, 10-inch Sagat. I love this figure. Okay, look at this. It's vinyl, right? The shoulder, ball joint. Go in and out, forward, back, no problem. Head, ball joint. Left, right, wiggle, wiggle, up, down, nod the head. Turn left, turn right. Hip, ball joint. I'm not going to go too rough on the hip because of the shorts. But yeah, hip can go out, go in, forward, back. This is this is a vinyl toy, and this was made in 2002, and it has 5 ball joints. You know where would be nice for us to have 5 ball joints and this 5 head? Okay, that would be very nice for us to have 5 ball joints and those neck or head, right? So it's not that you can't do ball joints on vinyl toy. It can be done. Okay, they did it in 2002. So I feel that okay, Super 7, if you want to sell people a $300 vinyl toy, at least make it the best vinyl toy it can be. Don't just fudge it and counting on, oh, it's the biggest and the only Tiamat figure of this size out there, you're basically that counting on you don't have any other choice, right? Um, Size. Let's talk about size, right? In a little bit at the end of the video, I hope you guys stay for the end because I'm going to show how this poses with various large and small figures. And in the posing video, I showed two Mattel's Jurassic Park super colossal dinosaurs. Those things usually sell around 70, 80. Okay, some of the newer ones are going for $120, but those are way bigger. Even the legacy dinosaur, the Jurassic Legacy dinosaur, is bigger than Tiamat here, and that one was only $80, right? You can probably get it for 50 sometimes. Um, so again, my question is, if Mattel can do it, well, why can't Super 7? And if you want to sell a $300 five-headed dragon, then do it right, right? Make it nice and big, be uh, bigger than, or at least as big as the super colossal dinosaurs, and have some ball joints in the neck, so people have some posing options. And you know what else that they really could have done? This five head supposed to bring five different elements. For $300, it really wouldn't be too much for us to ask for breathing effects for all five heads. Those don't really cost that much money to make. You can 3D print them and would have added a lot to the value of the figure itself. Right? So essentially, why am I being so harsh on this figure? It's because the price tag, man. Even getting it at 193, or I thought I was going to get it at 193, I ended up getting it for around 250. Getting it at 250 is definitely a no-go. Okay, it's a big chunky vinyl toy. That's it. You can hardly do anything else with it. It's not the best it could be. It's almost like someone say, "Hey, I want to sell you a hamburger, and it's going to be $200." Okay, if it's a hamburger that is so amazing, it's the best burger in the world, I don't have any problem with that. But if all you do is take 10 regular hamburger patties and stack them together, and then you sell me a burger for $200, that's basically what Tiamat is. Okay, it's big, but other than being big, it doesn't have anything too impressive about her. And even on being big, she's not big enough. Anyway, a little bit disappointed about my birthday gift, but I'm sure I'll find some cool places to display her on. We'll look at some posing photos and get my final words on Tiamat. So when you look at these posing photos, one question I'm going to pose to you guys is, if Mattel can make a much larger dinosaur and sell it for less than $100, and that those dinosaurs are even tied to the movie license, how is it that Super 7 can't make something at least that big if they want to charge us $300, right? I know I sound like I got a bitter case of buyer's remorse. Not really. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought he was, or she was going to be bigger, but it's still a cool looking figure and can go up against your other kaiju or Avengers or robots, and she will look fine. But I think, at least to in my opinion, it would be great as a $100 toy, but not 300, not 200, maybe yeah 100 top. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you guys have a happy holiday.